hello, fabulous people, fabulous girls and boys. Thanks for tuning in to Fab Life with JC. And here I am with Sims.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet everyone. My name is Melchizedek Sims, actually.
Melchizedek Sims, and I love, having another program from Saved by Grace. I love his name, Melchizedek, or some people call it Melchizedek.
Yes.
Because that's, it's in the Old Testament, and
Yes.
Abraham paid tribute to,
Yes.
well, not paid tribute, but offered something to Melchizedek. He was an eternal high priest.
He's also the archangel that casted Satan out of heaven. He was
Okay.
the archangel Michael. That's what my name is actually Michael in Hebrew.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's actually what it also means too. It has multiple meanings, so I thought that was pretty cool too.
That is super amazing. Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, to know that. Yeah, wow.
Learn something new every day, right?
Yes, we learn something every single day. Yeah. So here I am with Sims, and he is a model slash actor slash martial artist.
Kind of just all bunched in together,
Yeah.
I kind of try to dabble in everything.
Yeah. So tell me, how did you get into modeling?
Well, it actually first started when I was doing martial arts. I was in a boxing gym. I was in Hit Factory. I forgot what street it's on, but it's I'm not really good with streets. I've been in Vegas for a minute, but I'm kind of sucky with streets.
Me too.
But the Hit Factory, it's actually not there anymore, so it wouldn't even help. But I was boxing and I was hitting the bag, and I didn't have my shirt on, and obviously, I'm light skinned and everything. I stick out like a sore thumb because I'm always around darker complexion men and everything. I just hang around a lot of black people. And they approached me, and he was like, "Hey, have you ever thought about modeling?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I thought about it, but like once I get like bigger and everything, and once I get like established in my fighting game, like I'll do modeling." And they're like, you don't have to do that. You can just do modeling yourself. So I didn't know that, and I go to my dad and I approach him and I'm like, "Dad, can I do modeling like before I get big?" And he's like, "Yeah, you could do it right now." And I was like, "Oh snap!" So it was something that was always in the back of my head, but you kind of have to get past that point where you're questioning yourself and you're questioning what other people are going to say. Because at first I was more so worried about what people were going to think of me saying like, "Oh, I'm a model," or "Oh, I'm an actor," and everything. And then people would be like, "Oh, you think you can do that?" and everything. And I had to get past myself first before I could even put myself in those shoes, because I've just now started getting serious with it. I want to say the past year or so. And like before I was kind of like dabbling in it, but now I'm kind of like going full deep into it and trying to really make connections, learn as much as I can, just get myself out there and really not be afraid of what people's opinion are, because obviously that's the biggest thing, is most people are just afraid of other people's opinion.
I personally think that if you think inside of your heart that you are a model, then yes, you are a model.
Yeah.
If you think it and are convinced in your heart, and then you take those steps, of practicing and sculpting yourself to become one, and then you're a model.
Yes, I would definitely agree with that. And it also has to come with trial and error, because
Absolutely.
like obviously there's certain things when you do them or post them, you're like, that didn't do well and everything, but it's like that's perfectly fine, because some people get so caught up in the error that they don't even really learn the lesson from the failure. It's like, stop getting so caught up in the failure, learn what the lesson was, and then move on and everything. It's like, just keep pushing forward. And that was my biggest thing, was realizing that those failures there was nothing wrong with them, because everyone has gone through that, everyone has handled that and everything. So it's like, that's what makes you succeed, is those failures.
Well, errors are there to be used as a platform for success, because you look at your errors and you're not gonna make the same mistake again.
Yes, there you go.
Because now you have hindsight and foresight.
And if you're also educating yourself, like I feel like most people, they think that modeling is just like, oh, you just stand in front of a camera and you just look good. And it's like, no, there's a lot more to it. You have to start building connections with other people who are in the modeling field, and also realizing that, because I'm not gonna lie, in Vegas there's not a large male modeling market. Like I was looking up like people in Vegas, and there's just a lot of females. It was just really a lot of females. So I was like, okay, so I'm like gonna be one of the few male models in Vegas. I was like, dang, I'm like a large fish in a small pond right now. So I'm really trying to make connections outside of Las Vegas and the United States. There's a lot of models that I follow who are in UK and like Europe. Well, Europe is basically.
And even Japan, you know,
And
they get a lot.
Yeah, a lot of Asian countries. There's like great models out there.
Yes.
So I was, you know what? Let me like plant seeds, follow them, interact with them, leave comments, ask them what they do, because obviously they already have that establishment. They already have the what people would call clout.
Yeah.
So they already have it. So it's like, okay, let me see how they react to it. Let me see what they're doing and everything, and use them as not copy them, but use them as a blueprint, and then put my own little flavor on it and everything. Because I always try to be myself and everything. So people will be like, well, that's different, and I'm like, well, good. I'm glad it's different because I'm not trying to be like other people.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think if you try modeling in Japan, it is going to be a super amazing
I bet it will.
experience.
My brother's in Japan right now.
Oh,
so
wow.
He's a Marine in Okinawa, Japan.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like very much excited at some point when I can go out there and visit him.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about a lot of the modeling agencies out there. He said that there was like a lot of competition, but there wasn't like a lot of people who kind of took themselves as seriously as he does, because he takes himself sometimes even more seriously than I take myself, because he's my older brother. So
he's a model as well.
Yeah, he's just getting into it. He realized how much I was getting into it, and I'm realizing that with a lot of people, they're realizing that I'm doing it, so they're kind of like, hey, can I get in on that too? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll help you out and everything. And with my brother, he's humbled himself enough to say like, okay, he knows a lot more about this than I do. So he just goes to me anytime he needs help with photography, clothing, and I just try to always make sure I can be that fountain of knowledge for him, because I love my older brother very much. He's always been a large influence on me, and he may not know it, but I've always looked up to him ever since I was little, and to a certain extent I still do look up to him, but now I'm kind of just looking up to myself right now.
Well, absolutely. Oh my gosh. So what were your some of your modeling gigs here in Las Vegas?
I would say a couple were. I had a whole bunch during Meetup, on the Meetup app. There was this app that's called Meetup, and you can interact with other people, like photographers and other models and everything. And then I had one called with FU Clothing, and we're trying to schedule something for this upcoming August. And then there was another one with Latoria, where we're trying to schedule the fashion show for this upcoming August. So it's like, a lot of them are kind of like we schedule them, and then they're kind of a couple months out. So I legit am still building up my I'm the jumping off point. Like this whole time it was me like doing everything by myself, everything by myself, and now everyone's starting to say like, oh snap. Yeah. Okay, let me give you some exposure. Let me help you out. And in my head, I was like, oh, cool. So I just had to put in that year of grinding and that's the thing. Most people don't put in that year of just putting in the grind and not expecting any results, because they're so scared of not getting those results. And it's like, I wasn't really scared of not getting the results. I was more so scared of just not putting my truth out there. And that's the biggest thing. I honestly not even caring if I get famous, get the clout. I know that honestly that stuff's gonna come at a later date, just because of the person I am and the kind of way I perceive myself to people. People are just like that. But I'm not looking for that. That's not my end goal.
And you are exactly in a perfect spot, here the social media shows Fab Life, because we, expose everyone, who's our guest, out there.
Yes, I greatly, this is a great opportunity for me. When I was actually very, very much excited. I was a little nervous on coming on here, because I've never actually had a live interview where it was, they're asking me questions. I don't know what the questions are and everything. So it's like, it was really a humbling moment to be like, oh, you're gonna be doing this today. It's like, all right, cool.
Yes, you
you know?
are, and you
Really?
So tell me about where's Maria? I thought we were going to have a commercial break, but anyhow, while she's not here,
all right.
So tell me a little bit about your ethnicity, your ethnic background.
I am black and Colombian. My father is black. My mother is Colombian. But my mom never taught me Spanish, unfortunately. So I'm still in the process of trying to learn Spanish, because I really think if I knew Spanish, it would take me to another level with just understanding.
She should have.
She really should have, but she realizes it was a mistake, and that's all she can do and everything. So I wasn't. I'm not holding it against her. It's just I pointed out to her. I'm like, you never taught me Spanish, and she's like, I know, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But and also too, the area I grew up in, it was predominantly like black people. So I was like, I grew up around like, I'm very much more African American than I am Colombian, I would say. And I'm not saying that to disparage my Colombian side. It's just I didn't really have a lot of Colombian heritage when I grew up. Like I was mostly around homies that like I would just chill around the block on and everything. And most of them were like, and I was kind of always like like the not the outcast, but kind of like just the black sheep. I kind of stood out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then later in like throughout middle school, I started to develop other friends who were like a lot more, let's just say, grounded and everything. They were a lot more grounded, and they kept me grounded too. And I really thank them for that. They don't really know how much they've helped my life, but they really did. And just throughout life, it's like you know, I'm realizing that it's not really so much as who you get close with; it's kind of who sticks around.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so
yeah.
you know, but with my ethnicity and my both my ethnicities, I acknowledge both, but I also do acknowledge that I'm a little bit leaning more on one side, and that's also because I do in-depth research on the history of my black race. Like, I'm very much fascinated by black history. I'm also in the process of I'm speaking with a producer who, his name is Isaiah. I hope Isaiah's watching this right now. If he's watching this, shout out Isaiah.
Shout out to Isaiah.
Yes, great producer.
I love your name, by the way.
I actually grew up with him in my complex. So when I went to a script reading and I saw him, and I didn't know it was him at first, but I was like, I know that guy from somewhere. And then I sat next to him, and he's like, hey, and I'm like, hey, man. I'm like, can you give me your name? He's like, Isaiah. And I'm like, dude, I knew you from somewhere. I was like, I just couldn't put my finger on it. And he's like, yeah, I'm the producer. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, dude, we got to get each other's numbers and work together at some point. So I spoke to him, right? And this is like a little behind-the-scenes sneak peek of what I'm doing. I'm trying to put together a cinematic universe. You know how Marvel has the Marvel cinematic
Oh my gosh,
universe?
don't get me started.
Don't get you started. Oh my goodness, don't get me started.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So I'm gonna do it real quick. I'm trying to put together a cinematic universe.
Okay. Okay, hold that cinematic universe thought.
Hold the cinematic universe thought?
Yeah,
okay.
Because we are coming back, but we're just going on a commercial break. So don't go away.
We've reached the age of live streaming on social media shows. You may ask, we're already ahead of the curve, so why do you need to advertise with us? Well, only 8% of the businesses in the US are using digital advertising to grow their business. That's 2 percentage points short of reaching critical mass, which will lead to faster results. We have 20 plus shows with a reach of over 80,000. We'll give you commercial ads, website link, and connections to nonprofit organizations. So get your brand ready for digital monetization, for we are looking for sponsors, which will bring more traffic to your business and ultimately mean more sales. So let's bring the world to you. Inquire now.
John is an employee at one of the most famous firms in the city of New York, so his job is very hectic, and he realized that it is necessary for him to go and finally take a vacation. But he went on a vacation without planning out the details, and wasn't able to truly enjoy where he went because he had to think about so many things that he didn't plan for. Instead of enjoying his time away from work, he came back with more stress that he was not able to take full advantage of his vacation. But this year, a coworker suggested him to try World Ventures this time to make his vacationing more enjoyable and less stressful. They do not require you to plan anything outside of your transportation, which is also available at discounted rates. Your stay, your transport, and many meals are planned by the club. John liked the idea very much. He tries World Ventures, and his experience with the club was amazing, as he made many friends there with whom he had a great time. John recommends that everyone should try this club, as they are the best in business. See how the VIP-vacation-club.com can give you the right experience without all the hassle. Enjoy the VIP experience that
welcome back to the fabulous second segment of Fab Live. I couldn't say fabulous enough because I have an amazing guest. And Sims, before we took a commercial break a while ago, we talked about you wanting to create a similar cinematic universe.
Yes. Okay.
To Marvel.
So this is kind of behind
tell
the
us.
This is yes, I definitely will. This is
Yeah.
behind the scenes, kind of what I kind of was putting the pieces together, and I was like, I love how Marvel has like a cinematic universe, how they've planted seeds throughout time, and it's like it had a lead up to Endgame, and now they're going to keep going forward with more stories. So I was like, okay, I love African history. I was like, and I know a pretty good amount about African history. I'm not going to say I know a lot because I'm only 20, so like I never try to say I know a lot about anything. I would just say I know a little bit, and then you tell me if you think I know something. So I was looking up a story, and the guy's name is King Bayanu. He was a
beautiful name.
King Bayanu was an African king during the 1600s, and it's said to be that when he was captured by settlers, that he was so beautiful that they knew he came from royal descent. He was so beautiful and so strong that everyone knew he was of royal descent. He winded up killing a lot of his slave captors and actually freeing a lot of slaves during that time period, and was a large force during the slave trade on the black side, helping out the brothers and sisters in that aspect. And I told my friend Solomon, the guy I'm starting the podcast with, I was like, I want you to play this guy in a movie. I was like, I think you could play this part to a T, because he's very much animated, and he thinks of himself as a king. His name is Solomon, which obviously was a king back in, way back. So I was like, I would love for you to play this part. I was like, you're already like pretty built. I was like, all we have to do is get you a little bit more muscle. I was like, I can help you out with that. I can make you a workout regimen. And then you already are very much out there and animated with yourself. You're not a shy individual. And this is a king, and you're a king. I was like, it just goes well. Yeah. So I wanted to start with that movie. I wanted to go with that movie, but I also wanted to create an African cinematic universe with points in African history that were truly documented, where we either fought the settlers who were trying to put us into slavery, or so much as we were capturing like slave ships and everything. I really think that would be, because we always talk about in the cinema and everything, we're always perceiving ourselves as slaves and everything, as black people. And I'm like, okay, I understand that was a dark time. Everyone should know about that. But why don't we talk about the brighter moments where we conquered, where we actually, were fighting against from them, where there were tribes in Africa who were literally killing themselves in mass droves. I forgot the name of him, but it was a king, or it was either a king or a prince. I can't remember. I will do my documentary research, trust me. But they basically walked into the river, and as they were walking into the river, they said, the river spirit brought us here, and the river spirit shall take us. They would rather kill themselves than go into slavery. So I was like, a lot of these are topics that I really think would be, if they were brought to cinema, these would be beautiful movies and would show the power and the greatness of the black race as a whole. And it's just one of those things where I'm like, I really think I could bring this to the cinema, and all I have to do is just start making connections and start planting the seeds now and coming up with the scripts. So that's where I'm at with that, trying to create an African cinematic universe.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that's I'm so completely bowled over right now. It's super amazing.
Yes, I honestly, I've been putting a lot of thought into it, and I've been speaking with my friend on it a lot too. And when I told him about it, he almost dropped his phone. He was like,
well, don't forget to invite me
during definitely. Because honestly, what's even crazier is that most people don't even know is that there were a lot of Asian, connections back in those times. A lot of us were trading with a lot of Asians and also Europeans during that time. So honestly, there's gonna be other times in the movies where I'm gonna say, oh, we're gonna need these kind of actors, because honestly during that time they were trading with people of this descent, so I'm gonna need someone of that descent to play that part. So in my head I'm like, this isn't just for black people as a whole. Obviously it is, that's my whole purpose, is to try to get the black side, the black story out and everything, but it's also trying to show other aspects throughout history where other countries and continents were helping us, or maybe they weren't helping us. I'm just trying to show the truth. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm
talking about that, Asians and black people trading. I've seen some Asian women, and I don't even have to look close. I mean, their eyes look very oriental. And sometimes, like, whoa, are they mixed, or are they just naturally? you know, like what is it? What is it? Do they have like Asian descent?
Yes.
And I just look at them and I'm like, wait a minute, this woman is like, at first like, okay, she's a black woman, and then
Yeah.
you take a closer look, her eyes have that.
Yeah,
like-
it's really
Mhm.
connected, honestly.
Yeah.
Man. And I think that there's honestly like a bond
Mhm.
with Asians and blacks to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Because if you go throughout the history, you look at like the statues and the what's it
Mhm.
called, the hieroglyphics or the pyramids. and
Mhm.
everything. It's like there's a large connection between Asians and blacks when it comes to the
Mhm, mhm.
the dichotomies of the culture
Yes.
and the history. You're literally
Yeah.
like, were they? They were homies back then. Like
Yeah,
they
they
were
were
cool.
homies back then.
You know,
and
you're
the
like,
whole thing, you know, talking about, you know, black history, black
Yes.
culture. In Black Panther, my all-time
I love
favorite.
that movie.
Black Panther and Aquaman, those
Wakanda
two.
forever.
Yeah, I know. You know, once again, not to cram my religious beliefs down anyone's
Go ahead,
throat.
man. Go
Like
ahead. Speak your truth.
when I worship in church, because I go to a rock and roll disco blah 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 church, so
Yes.
it's like we dance, we celebrate life over there,
Yes.
and you know, I start making my own dance while I'm worshiping God, and I tend to do like this,
Yeah.
you know, when I'm dancing, and I'm like, and I'm doing it like while worshiping,
Yeah.
you know, the King of King, and I got that, you know, from the,
Mhm.
and it makes a lot of sense. I feel so
Does.
powerful
It
when
does,
I do
man.
that.
It almost kind of, it's like, yeah. I
Yeah.
really, I don't understand what it symbolically. At some point, I'm gonna look it
Wakanda
up.
forever, you
Yeah.
know.
At some point, I want to look up what this means and actually like how it empowers
It
you.
means, you know, strength, you know, and power, and you are unbreakable.
Yes.
Nobody
Makes a
can
lot of
break
sense
you.
now. It makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense now. But yeah.
Yeah. So and also going back to that movie, the costumes of the bald headed
Yes.
women over
Yes.
there.
The Dora Milaje.
Yeah. Some of the designs came from an ethnic tribe from the Philippines.
Yes. Yes.
And
also,
then they
and
incorporated
yes.
that with Africa, and they
Yes.
infused.
They also actually,
Mhm.
if you go back into the history books too, I forgot their freaking names. I want to say the Shabani. I want to say
Mhm.
Shabani tribe. If I'm wrong, please someone let me know I'm wrong and everything. But for
Yeah.
now, I think it's the Shabani tribe. But they were actually considered some of the fiercest women on the planet, and they were a black tribe
Yes,
in Africa.
yes.
And that's where actually most of the Dora Milaje's characteristics came from.
Mhm.
And I thought that was just amazing how with the black, I think one of the biggest things with Black Panther is it was so good because they were actually pulling from actual history. They weren't just pulling, because a lot of some people, they'll get like a role in a movie and they don't pull from the history. They'll just go off the top of their
Yeah,
head.
like
or
whatever,
what
yeah.
looks good on screen and everything. And they
Yeah.
don't even know that what would look better, even the best on screen, is
Yeah.
the actual history, the truth.
It
the
would
things-
drive the narrative.
what
yeah,
would
really
drive the
well.
narrative. There you go.
Yeah.
And it's just it was awesome to see
Yeah.
a lot of the things in Black Panther, and and especially as a person like me who researches that kind of stuff, so you're looking at it and you're like, oh, I get that reference because that's from the Shabani tribe,
Mhm.
or oh, I get that reference because that's from the Zulu tribe.
Mhm.
It's like you find these little things that you actually find in yourself that you're kind of like, oh, that's really cool. So it's even amazing. If you thought you connected with the movie and you love the movie that much, imagine how much better it was to see it in your own perspective and actually connect from it through a racial standpoint. And you're like,
oh my
I
gosh.
love it.
Yeah, I love it. I connected. Well, I could connect. First of all, in the beginning of the movie, when they described those women as like, who's the Grace Jones chick?
Yeah, Grace Jones. I like
Back
that.
in my day, I loved Grace Jones. I worshiped Grace Jones.
My dad loved
As
her.
a matter of fact, you know, I saw that James Bond movie, A View to a Kill, wherein she was just wearing Azadine Alaya outfits. She was the one who made that designer famous. Tight, clingy dresses, like super
Yes.
tight, and with a hood like that,
Mhm.
and like giant shoulder pads. But with her, it didn't look like, you know, it came from Ross. She looked like an
queen.
African goddess.
Yeah, goddess, there you
a
go.
goddess, yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
it
That's
goes back
Grace
to what we were
Jones.
saying. Remember
Yeah.
what we were talking about last time, where I said it's not what you're wearing, it's how you wear it. You should make the clothing look better, not the clothing making you look better.
Oh my goodness, he remembers that.
I remember that as the first time. Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. That's really awesome. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we'll be right back for the third segment. And don't go away. We have a lot of more exciting stuff to discuss on Fab Life.
We've reached the age of live streaming on social media shows. You may ask, we're already ahead of the curve, so why do you need to advertise with us? Well, only 8% of the businesses in the US are using digital advertising to grow their business. That's 2 percentage points short of reaching critical mass, which will lead to faster results. We have 20 plus shows with a reach of over 80,000. We'll give you commercial ads, website link, and connections to nonprofit organizations. So get your brand ready for digital monetization, for we are looking for sponsors, which will bring more traffic to your business and ultimately mean more sales. So let's bring the world to you. Inquire now.
Social media shows
is about
Branding, opportunity,
and outreach.
we are an entertainment company that empowers others.
By promoting and supporting our community.
And everyone who reaches our content.
here on social media shows.
Here we're a family.
We are family. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, sing. We are family.
We are family.
We are family.
We are a family.
We are family.
We are family, and we want you to be part of our social media shows family.
Welcome back to the third segment of Fab Life. Un, deux, trois. I just love to say it in French.
Du trois. I
Yeah,
like
un, deux,
that.
trois.
Trois, trois.
Sims.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome. But before we continue to, with this
Yes.
amazing interview, let's give a shout out to all the people that have tuned in, in support of
Yes,
Sims.
supporting
Yeah.
me. I greatly appreciate it. Anyone who's
Yeah.
tuned in right now, greatly appreciate it. I very seldom go on live, so I appreciate anyone.
Friends,
joining on.
family,
Yes.
fans, admirers,
Yes.
stalker.
Stalker, I'm dead. Got a couple of those. Not
Yeah,
gonna lie. Not gonna lie.
They probably don't want you dead.
Yeah, I know, right? Those are the ones
They
that
want you
actually-
alive.
Yes, they want me alive near them.
Just kidding. It's alive. Yes. So, so tell me, because I know that you've made 2 movies. Am I right? Or
No, I'm going to be in 2 movies.
you're going to be in 2 movies?
There's this.
Okay.
Well, it's actually multiple movies.
I
Honestly,
stand
at this point now, I have a hard time keeping track because it literally. I'm just now realizing that with a lot of this stuff, it literally can either go one day or start one day. Like all it
Okay.
takes is literally a day, and it could be like you could either be in a movie one day or you can be out of a movie one day. Like,
Okay.
there's this show called Grip. It's a web series, and I was really pumped up for the part. I was extremely happy. I was going to be playing a young club owner, and I
Okay.
was going to be acting kind of like a pompous a-hole.
Mm-hmm,
So, that was, huh?
No, that's.
Oh.
I think that's gonna be in the fourth segment.
No, fourth segment? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But my fault. The series is called Grip, and I was very much excited for the part because I was really gonna change. I was gonna have to change into a different person,
Mhm.
and I love that about acting is when you kind of get to look at different perspectives from that point of view. I'm always
Yeah.
about perspective. So when I showed up to a script reading one day, they're like getting us all pumped up in the room. They're like, "No, we really want to give you guys the most time. Like, we're really hoping that you guys dig down deep and pull something out." I'm buying all of this. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm about to really get pumped for this." And then I go to her and I'm like, "Okay, so about my part." And then she's like, "Yeah, you're not playing that part." And I'm like, okay, well, okay, I'm not
Yeah,
tripping. I'm not
it's
tripping.
like,
I was like, okay, what
why
part
am I here?
What part? No, what part am I
Yeah.
playing? And then she's like, "You're playing this other guy." And I'm like, "Okay, well, what about him?" And she's like, "Oh, there's not really that much substance there." But not even a couple hours ago, they were talking about how they wanted me to put all this energy into my part and put all this time. And I'm like, well, if you're saying there's not that much substance there, then why would I put all this energy and time to a character that you're saying is going to die within a season?
Yeah.
And you're also saying that I'm not even getting that much screen time. Apart myself from the opportunity. I just didn't. At first, I didn't pick up a couple of I didn't respond to a couple of their texts.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't even give me a call and say like, "Oh, we don't want to work with you anymore." They literally just sent me a text and said, "We wish you luck on your future endeavors. We're not looking to work with you anymore." And I was like, "Wow, that can really happen that quickly." So I was like,
my
"Okay,
God.
no problem."
Stirring the pot.
Yeah,
just
stirring
a
the
little
pot, stirring the
bit,
pot just a little bit. So
Yeah.
I was like, I wasn't upset about it. I wish them well on all future endeavors. And at some point, I know I'm going to cross paths with them. I just have a weird feeling about things like that where I know like this is not the last time I'm going to see you. So at some point, I will cross paths with them again. And I really hope that I can bring more to the part or even more to their establishment in general because I really like the series in general. It was a great concept. And there's a lot of parts where they're still in the works. Like there's this one show called Get Up Joe where I told you about this last time, right? Where it's a boxer who's looking for that one last hurrah.
Yes, I remember that.
And
Yeah.
I would basically be training him. We're getting the funding together for that right now. And then there's also a martial art movie called Black Salt where I'm not really sure what my part would be in that actually because I haven't talked to the producer or the director. My father actually is talking with them because he went to school with them. So I'm not completely sure what part I would be playing there. And then there's also other movies like the King Bayanu movie I'm putting together. And then there's also Isaiah has a movie that he has 2 or 3 movies he's working on right now. And he already told me, he's like, "I want you for all 3. He's like, "I just need you to do your research on the parts," which I'm doing right now. So he just spoke to me 2 days ago about those. So, you know, if I gave you like a number on how many movies I'm trying to work with, it's like around like 6 or 7, I would say.
That's awesome.
You know, but you have to keep yourself diversified. It's just like an investment portfolio, just like, you know, working out, just like, you know, eating. It's like try a little bit of everything. You know, try to keep yourself diversified just in case something fails. You're not so hung up on it. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know?
That's right. That's right.
And that's the biggest thing with me is I try to keep it, even with my modeling, I try to keep it very much diversified. You know.
Wow, oh my gosh. Do you sing as well, or you?
I
just,
wish I could sing. I told my
Hi,
friends.
diddly dee.
Dude, I know, right? I told my friends, I
Yeah.
was like, if I could sing, I was like, it'd be a rap. I was like,
It'd be a
rap. I was like, I'd be famous right now.
Oh my
so like,
gosh.
I told my friends, and I wanted to take up dance lessons and singing lessons at one point. Because honestly, I've looked up research on it, and honestly, singing isn't something that's hard to get to. It's literally like a muscle. It just has to be worked.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I took singing class, I actually could start singing at some point. So I was like, I just have to put the time and effort, just like with anything, and I'm willing to do that. I've done that with everything. I've done that with my martial arts. I've done that with my modeling. I've done that with my acting. I've done that with my investments. So it's like I'm willing to put the time in.
I think just listening to your speaking voice, I think that you'll have a great
singing voice. I hope
because
so.
You have that. I mean,
Emotion.
I don't necessarily see you as a tenor. You know, tenors are the guys who hit like the high notes, but I see you as a bass.
That's what I was saying too. One of my friends actually said, he said that
Yeah.
I see you as the person who who would either come in and drop some fire freestyle bars with a deep voice,
Yeah,
or you would
yeah.
have like, because you know how like auto-tune is taking over the industry, like with
Yeah,
and
but
I'm not
yeah.
the biggest fan of auto-tune, but the guys who use it right, I like Kanye West or
Yeah.
Travis Scott, the guys who don't overly use it, the guys who use it when it needs to be used to get the right
Sparingly.
pitches. Sparingly. There
Yeah,
you go.
sparingly.
Sparingly. Not every song and everything. So it's like if you use it sparingly, then it kind of it serves its purpose.
Right.
Just like with anything else, moderation,
Yeah, yeah.
diversification.
Yes,
So
yes.
I would say like I think that that would be something that I would dabble into at a later date once I have the time and money, because I have a lot of friends who are really, really talented, and I see their talent. I don't know if they see it, but I see that they have some really good talent in music, and I would really love for them to flourish that talent, because a lot of them are. I've heard some of them freestyle and some of them going on beats, and I'm like,
Amazing.
dude,
That's-
we got to get you on a track.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was like, I can't put that. I don't know how you put those words together in that
Yeah,
order.
yeah.
And they are just very talented young men, and I'm very glad to actually call them my brothers. Actually,
Yeah.
I call them
Yeah.
my friends. So
Oh my
I'm also
gosh.
trying to get into music at some point to also use that as a tool to help them and also help other people bring them up. You know.
Oh my goodness! Wow, I would love to interview your brothers in Fab Life.
That would be amazing, honestly.
Yeah.
At some point, the one I told you about, Ryan,
Yeah.
I'll speak with him. I'll speak
Yeah.
with Damien, and then I'll also speak with Solomon, because they would definitely, all three of those guys would love it and absolutely love it. So
yeah.
they all have their platforms. Solomon is right now working with me on Millennial Speaks. Damien is currently an up-and-coming model. He's still getting his groundwork down with his portfolio and everything, so his portfolio isn't all the way put together. But I think that's the best point to be, because when you're putting together your portfolio, it's like a blank canvas. It's like that's the best point, is when the
Right.
canvas is blank.
Yeah.
So he's putting together his portfolio, and that's the same position that Ryan's in there right now too.
Yeah.
But I'm walking them through the steps of trying to make connections while also, keeping yourself, because a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, I want you to do this, or will you do this and everything, and it's like, no, I think I'll stick with this and everything. So it's like sometimes people, I'm trying to get
That's
them to
too
realize
funny.
their worth, I would say,
Yeah.
and not even realize
Yeah.
it, because I think they know their worth. I think that sometimes they just need, like anyone else, they just need a little bit of refresher. Like everyone just everyone needs that moment where they get smacked in the face. It's like, yo, know who you are, know your worth,
So tell me something about Millennial Speaks.
Millennial Speaks. It is basically a podcast that me and one of my greatest, dearest friends, I love him with all my heart, Solomon Drew. Go check him out. His Instagram is just your everyday with Sully. So go ahead and check him out. And also check out the Millennial Speaks Instagram. We'll be dropping our first episode in July. So, I want to say towards the end of July. So like probably end of July, beginning of August. We still have to get a lot of our equipment together and everything, funding, stuff like that. So Millennial Speaks is the opinions of Generation Y. And actually, it's a little secret behind the scenes and everything that you guys will know. I'll say it on here because I love Fab Life.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So,
Okay.
what's crazy is when we were actually coming up with this, we realized we're not millennials. I'm actually Generation Z. Millennials is actually from 1995 and below.
Oh, okay.
So we were born in 1999,
Okay.
and so we were like, oh crap, we're actually Generation Z. And we were like, well, we're gonna keep the name. I was like, we're
Yeah.
gonna keep it. I was like, I'm not
Yeah.
changing it up. And I was like, and if
Yeah.
anything happens, I was like, during a Q&A, I was like, we'll bring that up. I was like,
Yeah.
we'll bring it up and be like, plot twist, we're not millennials. So, but the whole concept of Millennial Speaks is to educate my generation on certain things that I feel like they need to be educated at a younger age to get the growth that they would want. Because it's all about trying to give them the knowledge that most people don't get. I'm noticing that there's a lot of kids my age who aren't educated, and it's not, and there's nothing wrong with that, because you're literally, ignorance is just lack of knowledge.
It
So
really
it's like
is.
you're just ignorant on a subject, and I don't get upset at people when they're ignorant. If anything, I'm like, oh, you don't know this? Here, I'll show you this, or I'll show you this, or I'll teach you this.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing with Millennial Speaks, is educating my generation and also letting them know that there's options. Like we're in one of the biggest, most beautiful ages that it is to be alive. Like there's so many outlets. You can do so many things from that device right now that's recording us.
Yeah.
And you can do so many things from that laptop right there that's recording us. That it's the sky's the limit. And I'm really trying to get a lot of people to realize that. And a lot of people think that it's because they're in a certain situation that it's not sky's the limit. It's like, no, you're putting these social constructs on your mind that you think are keeping you from doing it, that if you would just knock those away,
Yes.
you wouldn't even realize the power that you have within yourself, and you wouldn't even realize that the amount of knowledge that there is out there that can give you the power that you're seeking. Because a lot of people feel powerless during my age. Right now, they feel like they have no power over their lives. They feel like they have no
that's not a
control,
good thing.
and it's not a good thing. And I try to get a lot of them to realize that, but it also goes back to the victim role. So it's like some of them, I feel like, are playing the victim, where they think, oh, this is me, woe is me. And it's like, you need to get out of that mindset. And then once you get out of that mindset, you'll realize you have so much more power that it'll literally, it almost will make you cry. I remember one day it actually made me almost cry, because I realized how much was about to start happening in my life, and I realized how many people I was going to start touching, and I realized how many like outlets I was going to start creating, and all these things that I'm building, that it literally can actually, it's almost like a weight on your shoulder. And you're like, wow, I'm doing all this, and I'm pushing, and I'm doing this by myself, and you're like so happy, you know.
That's truly amazing. So it's time for us again to take another commercial break, and we will be right back for the last segment of Fab Life. Don't go away.
Live streaming on social media is the best new way to interact and bond with your community. Do you love to encourage, motivate, and empower others, but you do not know how? Well, your opportunity starts with us on social media shows. We have 20 shows a week live streamed across the globe, with a reach of over 80,000 and growing. So you can host your own show, and you can be anything you want to be. So let's bring the community together, and let's bring the world to you. Join us now. Live streaming on social media is the best new way to interact and bond with your community. Do you love to encourage, motivate, and empower others, but you do not know how? Well, your opportunity starts with us on social media shows. We have 20 shows a week live streamed across the globe, with a reach of over 80,000 and growing. So you can host your own show, and you can be anything you want to be. So let's bring the community together, and let's bring the world to you. Join us now.
Social media shows
is about
Branding,
Opportunity.
and outreach
We are an entertainment company that empowers others.
by promoting and supporting our community.
And everyone who reaches our content.
here on social media shows.
Here we're a family.
We are family. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, sing. We are family.
We are family.
we are family.
We are a family.
We are family.
We are family, and we want you to be part of our social media shows family.
outer space. I'm just kidding.
I wish.
Yeah. Yeah, we had just intergalactic meeting with Rihanna. I mean Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande. So I know that you wanted to share to us some photographs of
Yes,
images.
actually.
What are these pictures all about?
These pictures are honestly a lot deeper. Like every time I take a picture or I do editing on a picture, I try to have a certain kind of symbolic meaning behind it. So every single one that will most likely be appearing right here behind us, each one kind of has like a special place. And I know that may sound weird, where it's like you have a special place for pictures you've taken of yourself, or not I've taken, but other photographers have taken. It's like, yeah, I actually do. It's like, because, you know, I'm a model, so it's like every picture should mean something to me.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. So take it away, Directoire, and show us the slideshow.
That one, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. When I first posted that, a lot of people gave me criticism on that one. The one with the shirtless, everyone was like, it looked fake. It looked like I didn't look real. Like, and I was like, that's the thing I'm trying to go for right now. I was like, I'm trying, because I noticed a lot of the models that I follow, they don't look like regular men. They don't look like some guy you'd see on the street. I think that's what separates you from them. I was like, and I wasn't trying. And what's crazy is I didn't even really do the editing on that. I was like, the guy who sent me that, I even told him, I was like, I look kind of godlike in this. He's like, wasn't that what you're going for? And I was like, yeah, you're right. And I was like, but
what did he do?
He basically, because
photo manipulated.
He didn't do photo manipulation. He just made my face and my body look so defined. Like he made my I'm chiseled and everything. But like it was like, if you look at the original photo and then look at that photo, you could tell the difference. But
super sculpted.
Yeah, it was just it wasn't one of those things that I didn't want to look like that. Yeah. It was just like I said, I was thinking about other people's opinions. So it was like I was like, oh, should I post this? And I was like, no, I'm gonna post it. I don't care. And that one right there, I actually took that one in my house. Yeah. Because I see the phone in my house. Oh, okay. And sometimes that's really nice. I like to take photos sometimes like that in my house because it shows your humanity. It shows like I'm not just always taking photos with photographers. Sometimes I like to take photos of myself. Yeah. My friend Ryan actually took that one. He's at some point he needs to get in photography like on a larger basis because he has a better eye than me when it comes to taking shots. Like, I take some really good shots of him sometimes, but he takes amazing shots of me. Oh, that picture right there was actually when I was going through like a little bit of I wouldn't say a heartbreak, but I was really liking this one girl, and she kind of left and went out of town, and I was kind of just like, it was kind of in a dark place and everything, but those pictures, I was a little bummed out, but those pictures came out really good that day for some reason. Like I was feeling so ugly that day, and the pictures came out so good. I was like, and actually that was the same freaking photo shoot, because I sometimes take multiple outfits. And
what about that picture with the
middle fingers? That one,
the middle finger.
That one, Ryan took that one. We went to what's it called? Not Times Square. Yeah. The art district. We went to the art district to take those shots, and I told him, he was like, just flip off the camera, and I was like, all right, and then he was like, no, put up both fingers, and then I put up both fingers, and he's like, I like that, and then I saw it, and I was like, that's a clean picture. I was like, I like that picture. And what's crazy is the caption for that one is, I fell in love with my, what did I say? I said, I effed my feelings, I had a one-night stand with regret, and I left my depression.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was the caption, was I slept with my feelings, had a one-night stand with regret, and I left my depression. And I thought that was really deep, because at that moment I really felt like I was making progress. I was like, when everyone started to say, like, Sims, I'm noticing you're really being consistent with this. And I was like, it's not really, I'm not really trying to take it lightly. That was one of my first photo shoots, actually. That was with Solomon's father, actually. Oh, wow. Solomon's father is also a photographer, too, and he's a very, very talented photographer. I actually I have a photo shoot coming up with him, I want to say, in the next week or so. Oh, wow. So, a very talented man. That one is actually my Instagram, what's it called? Your Instagram bio pic. Yeah. By the way, go check me out on Instagram. M_is Sims. So M_is Sims. Okay. Yes. So that was a photo shoot I went to with a meetup group, which was that app I told you about where you meet up with people and everything. Yeah. That one was with a girl called Catherine. Her name is she's a very talented photographer. I actually want to work with her again at some point, but I've had troubles getting connected with her and everything because obviously everyone's always busy. So what was the other ones? That one I told you about. That one was with Ryan.
What is this at Christmas? It looked kind of.
It's actually not Christmas. It literally was an area where they did a bunch of graffiti.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I thought that was like so dope because I was wearing like all dark and everything. So I thought it was a good contrast.
Because I just saw the green and red.
Yeah,
it seems very Christmas.
It really brightens it up and really makes it pop. So
yeah.
That one was, I told you about that one, depression. I told you about that one. That one was when I first was like getting started. And I actually didn't even like that picture at first. I thought that picture was ugly as hell. And everyone was like, that's such a good picture. That one is one of my favorite pictures. I absolutely love it. It
looks like you're meditating.
It does, and that's what I was going for.
Yeah.
Because the gentleman, it was a gentleman named Kyle, another great photographer actually too. He saw like a pink background. He saw I was wearing all black. He was like, can you sit like just in front of me? He's like, sit and just be calm. He's like, just sit there. And I was just like, I just put my hands down and I just like looked at the camera. And when I saw the shot, I was like, that's a money shot. I was like, that's a shot. I was like,
money shot right there.
Money shot. Because I've had a lot of Instagram pages repost that on their page because they were like, I love your work and everything. I really want to shout you out. Like, you know, I was like, sure, no problem. So that shot was just sort of, and that was actually when I was actually doing a lot of meditating too. So it's I like how a lot of my Instagram photos, I try to have them always portray what I'm actually going through in real life. So if you kind of can tell that I look a little depressed in a shot, or if I look a little excited in a shot, that's actually what I'm feeling in real life. If I look a little confused, if I'm looking serious, if I'm looking like I'm trying to flex, those are all emotions I'm trying to give through my Instagram. Wow. So when people say, you look really serious, why are you always so serious? I'm really serious right now. So it's like, you know, so
that's too funny.
It's the truth though.
But I'm really serious right now.
Yeah, and it's the truth, you know.
Yeah.
So
that's really funny.
What's the other shot? So I talked about that one. I love the bag in that one too. Honestly, I bought that bag off of Amazon, which is crazy.
Oh wow!
And everyone loves that
backpack. It looks like
backpack.
an incredible bag.
Yeah, it was like $20.
Yeah. I really dig the headband. Now you guys. Well, you see it through the photograph, but his hair...
It's braided right now. I had a friend of mine. She's a great... Actually, I just met her like a couple days ago. Really good friend of mine.
Oh, so she braided it.
Yeah, she braided my hair. So
can you do that so that they could see it? Can the camera...
Yeah, sure, no problem. I'll get closer to the camera.
See it?
There you go.
Oh, wow. See that? It's braided.
Check out the, what's it called? The line with the fade.
Yeah.
I actually really like that too.
I love
like
the braided, yeah. So, I love it, yeah. I see that scar all the time. It's like the in thing right now. Like if they shave a guy's head and then they kind of... Yeah. Is there a name for that?
I don't know if there is a name. At some point, maybe I'll create a
name
for it.
Did you have your eyebrows shaved too?
Yes, I had it because it's like it literally has the line that goes through.
Oh my gosh, are you seeing this?
Yeah, I thought that was really cool how the line goes through the side.
If you go close to the, you see the eyebrows? It's shaved like in the middle, and then it continues on to the side of the head.
Yeah, and I thought that was like, because there's a post, actually, I wish I would have sent that picture, actually. Yeah. There's a post on my Instagram where when I first got this line cut, the caption said, I love my scars more because they've stayed with me longer than the people. No, I said, I guess I love my scars more than people because they've stayed with me longer than those people. And it kind of makes sense because when you always look at a scar, it's always like there's always a story behind it. So it's like in an essence, you kind of love your scars. So I always thought it was kind of like it always has a lesson to do with the whole something bad happened, and it's like, well, what was the lesson and everything? And I always try to look at what's the lesson. So it's like a scar always has a lesson.
Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. This. I just love this, the new generation right now, and you talk to them, and it's like talking to you. Yes. And I feel like I'm talking to an old soul.
That's what people tell me.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I've gotten that so much. Everyone's like, how old are you? And I'm like, I'm 20. And they're just like, dude, you must have been a king or a scholar in the past life.
King.
I was like, right? And I'm like, thank you. I really appreciate that. That makes me feel good when people acknowledge that. It's like, because I put a lot of pride in, I put a lot of pride in myself of trying to always be well educated on certain topics, and I try not to always sound stupid. Like if I sound stupid, I almost try to catch myself, and I'm like, I sound really stupid right now. So it's like, when someone says like, "Wow, I feel like you're a very well educated young man," I'm like,
oh my God.
It's so heartfelt.
It would be a great privilege for you to be a guest on my comedy, Gizi and his frenemies.
Yes,
like one episode.
I would love that. I would love that. I'm
gosh,
looking for any opportunities to have new experiences, and that's the crazy thing. Because some people they see my Instagram, and some people think I'm like a stuck-up jerk, and they think like I'm like, oh, you must be a serious a-hole because you're always serious on your stuff. And it's like, no, if you hit me up and you want to do a photo shoot with me, I was like, I would literally drop everything I'm doing and be like, let's go do a photo shoot. Let's go do it. Like I'm so down. Like I am so open and trying to build so many connections with so many people that I'm like, yeah. I mean, as long as you come at me professionally though, because I've had some people like I'm just gonna say certain females and everything. Where it's like they'll just be like, yo, you want to hang out? And I'm like, well, you want to do a photo shoot? And they're like, no, I'm just trying to hang out. And I'm like, well, I'm not really just trying to hang out. I'm sorry.
It's like I don't want to hang out with you. I'm sorry to burst your bubble,
you know,
but
business oriented, man.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
And so I just, oh my gosh, this is truly an amazing interview, and you're so animated. And see, I did need some caffeine right now.
Right? I try to be, man. If you think I'm animated, just wait until Solomon and I are in the same room.
Okay.
If once you get me and Solomon together, and we send you our Millennial Speaks podcast, and we start putting it through, trust me, you guys think I'm animated? Whoo! He's a different level. He's a different level.
He's a volcano / fireworks.
Oh man, it's more like a couple tons of TNT.
I think I just found the young me.
I hope when I get like to your age range, I hope I still have this much vigor, life, animation. I hope I'm still like fashionable as yourself and everything. I hope I'm still there. I'm hoping.
You will be. Just keep yourself young and stay away from negativity, and don't ever think that everything has to be age appropriate.
Yes.
You dress the way you feel. It's what you feel. It's what you express on the outside.
Yes, sir.
Because this is a reflection of what's on the inside.
Yes, sir.
And this is a reflection of what's on the inside.
He said, "Look at the drip."
No, we're going crazy right here, but it's all good. It's all good.
It's all in fun games.
Yeah,
man.
it's all in fun game. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yep. And so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a super amazing episode of Fab Life with the Sims. Oh, one last question.
Yes.
Yeah, now I remembered. What is your screen name? Do you have a screen name?
A screen name? M is Sims. Honestly,
Sims?
M is Sims. I came up with that screen name because one of my modeling inspirations, his Instagram name is Who is Elijah. His real name is Stefan Emil, but which is a very famous tattoo model. So and I was like, okay, a lot of people call me M. I was like, a lot of people call me Sims though too. I was like, a lot of people use that a lot. They either call me M or Sims. And I was like, why not just put an is in between that and be like, M is Sims. So it's like, it's the same person.
M is Sims.
Yeah, so it's like the same person.
Whoever, so if you're at the Met Gala, the press photographers will be calling M is Sims. M is Sims.
And what's crazy though?
Look this way, M is Sims.
No, check this out though. Check this out. I thought about that too. And I was like, if they do that, I was like, I'll just to break the ice with them. I'll be like, oh, you can just call me M, or you can just call me Sims, and then they'll feel. And then it almost makes them feel. Because I remember I was reading the book How to Win Friends and Influence People at one point, and it always said if you want to feel a connection with someone, kind of make them feel like they have a connection with you. Yeah. And if you do that by saying like, oh, you can call me this, or you can call me that and everything, then they feel like, oh, you gave me a little nickname to call you, so we have this connection. Yeah. So it's like, I always think about that. So it's like, anytime I do an interview, it's like, yes, my screen name is M is Sims, but you can call me M or Sims.
So one group of photographers will call you Sims,
one group
Sims, and one group will call you Sims, M, Sims, M.
And then one person will be like, wait, why are they calling? It's like, M is Sims.
Yeah. And on that note, we are saying goodbye and until the next Fab Life. And don't forget that your greatest fashion accessory is your self-confidence.
There you go. Bye, everyone.